to be proud of. And I love Miss Sherwood, and I love her school. I love what the teachers are doing. Shout out to Mr. Perez, and don't forget that we have lovely Davis, Helen Y. Davis, lovely. Oh, lovely. What is your last name? She came out with the song. We've been playing her song, My Black is Beautiful. She also made the Kwanzaa song. Shout out to the Helen Y. Davis. They have some amazing teachers. If you are available today, I am being honored. It is free to the public. I would love for you to come out. I would love for you to come and support. That is, again, today, 4 p.m. at the quote-unquote Big Head Museum, a.k.a. the Museum of National Center of Afro-American Artists. And today is going to be an amazing day, and I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I can't wait for today. And I'm really nervous because there haven't been too many spaces where I've been honored. So I have no idea, like, am I supposed to do an acceptance speech? Am I supposed to, like, kiss babies, shake hands? I really don't know, but I'm excited. And today, this past weekend, we celebrated Juneteenth at, I was about to say Forest Hills, at the park, Franklin Park Zoo. And a lot of people don't know what Juneteenth is. So the Juneteenth is sort of like the Black 4th of July. In his Independence Day oration, Frederick Douglass famously asked, "What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals him more than any other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty which he is a constant victim of." Juneteenth dates back to 1865, roughly 150 years old. This makes it the oldest known celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States of America. Juneteenth started in Galveston, Texas. On June 19, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger landed at Galveston with 2,000 Union soldiers to bring the news that the war was over and slaves were free. Galveston is still a major Juneteenth celebration site. A lot of people travel there to celebrate, but there's also large celebrations all over the United States. For instance, the one that took part in Franklin Park Zoo this past weekend. If you were there, please give me a call and let me know how it was. I had a friend of mine actually be stabbed, and I watched him be stabbed, so I just said maybe Juneteenth ain't for me, because I'm not about that life. I like life, but I did celebrate with family and friends, and very happy birthday to Uncle Terry. Happy birthday to my Auntie Trudy. They both share the same birthday, and yet happy birthday to all the amazing dads that do amazing jobs raising sons and daughters. I want to thank you. If you weren't thanked yesterday, if you weren't appreciated yesterday, if you didn't get to spend time with your child yesterday, thank you. I would advise every man going through the struggle of being a quote-unquote baby daddy, go to court. Go to court, go to court, go to court. If she decided to go to court for child support, yet you have no access to your child, fight for that baby. The same way you would want your daddy to fight for you. The same way you would want your lover to fight for you. The same way you want God, him, herself to fight for you. Fight for that baby. And shout out to the daddies that did and do fight for that baby. Shout out to the daddies that are in the court system right now, seeking justice. There's so many injustice that we have to deal with. You know, Juneteenth, not just the end of slavery, but also the end of you taking my baby away from me. The end of you ripping apart the black family. The end of you can't own land. The end of you can't build businesses. The end of you're nothing but 3/5 of this thing that I claim and I use as property. Juneteenth is 2 years late. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on September 22nd, 1862. That's around 2.5 years before Juneteenth, 1865. So for 2 years, our brothers and sisters in Texas had no clue that they were free. Had no clue that they could live life and be. We already know what happened after slavery, when freedom came. So I don't know if I could say they were actually technically free, but they were on paper free. Most of the stories you hear aren't true. There were lots of tall tales about the 2-year gap between emancipation and Juneteenth. Some say the original messenger was killed on his way to so the message never got through. There were also a rumor that federal troops let slavery continue for one last cotton harvest. Neither of those rumors are true. Texas was the Confederacy westernmost state, and back then news traveled very slow, and I guess it traveled 2 years slower than normal. There wasn't enough Union troops to relay the message, and those who did know were trying to secede and not inclined to recognize Lincoln's authority. And so the truth of the matter is, we don't want to tell you the truth, and they still don't tell you the truth. True or false? I promise to tell the truth. There is a Juneteenth flag. It was created by Ben Hath, the founder of the National Juneteenth Celebration Foundation, NJCF, in 1997. I bet you didn't know there was a Juneteenth flag. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. During slavery, laws dictated the way slaves dress. After emancipation, former slaves threw their rags into the river and put on clothes of freed men. In some places, African Americans follow that tradition by dressing their best on this holiday. And this is probably why we do, always feel like we have to be the best dressed, even if we have nothing to show for it, even if we have nothing in the bank, even if we have nothing under the mattress. We feel like we have to be the best dressed because DNA, remember, let's go back to science. Let's go back to facts. Science says that our DNA remembers the events of our past. So, we also remember the events of our ancestors, the events of those that came before us. So, if they felt like we have to get dressed, we have to put on these fresh clothes, like, even though I may not have what's the saying, a pot to piss in, even if I sleep in a hut, even if I have a shotgun home, at least I look good. And it makes me feel good. So I might not have anything that I can claim for my own, but I can claim myself and I look good and I feel my best. And maybe today that's why we spend so much money on sneakers and clothes. Juneteenth inspired the first former slaves to buy land. Reverend Jack Yates raised $1,000 to buy Emancipation Park for Juneteenth celebration, and it still stands in Houston, Texas today. This is probably one of the only things that we as Black Americans can say that we have as ours. Because as long as we've been in this country, I would like for you to point to one part of this nation where we have something that's ours that is X amount of years old, that is more than 50 years old, that is more than 100 years old. How long have we been here for? And where can you point and show that this is treaty land, African American land, or like anything? This is the town which stands that is called Tulsa, Oklahoma. For last time I checked, Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we used to reside, where our businesses thrived, is currently being gentrified, and the community is fighting the city in order to preserve the land. The largest Juneteenth celebration is in Mexia, Texas. One year, as many as 2,000 gathered in Booker T. Washington Park to celebrate. That was the largest known Juneteenth celebration. Some plantation owners celebrated too. They even donated food and money to the celebration. Others broke up celebrations to demand that their de facto slaves get back to work. What? Today, Juneteenth is a holiday in 43 states. Unfortunately, none of these states give state employees time off work to celebrate. But if it wasn't for the efforts of pioneers like legislator Al Edwards, encouraging state government to recognize Juneteenth Independence Day as an important moment in African American history, they may have not ever been able to celebrate at all. I stand here today and I say, you better take Juneteenth like it's your birthday. You better celebrate Juneteenth like it's your birthday, because it is a form of the Black 4th of July. Juneteenth is a June in the 19th, and it's a blend of two words together, Juneteenth, and it is always held here in the state of Massachusetts, in the city of Boston, by the Juneteenth Emancipation Observation Boston Juneteenth Committee. It is always celebrated on the 19th. No matter what day it falls on, they always celebrate on the 19th. And I am blessed to say that I am a part of this year's celebration, not because I am helping to promote it like last year, or I am attending like the last 3 years, but because this year they honored me and are awarding me. And again, that is today at 4 p.m. I would love for you to come out. I am so blessed to be a part of this, and I hope to see you there. Last but not least, last fact. Facts you did not know about Juneteenth. Not all Black people celebrated Juneteenth. Dallas Representative Clay Smothers famously called the holiday fraudulent and belittled what he saw as people ceremoniously grinning and bursting watermelons on the Capitol grounds. Others argue that the day is important to 250,000 former slaves that were freed, is something to celebrate, even if they found out 2 years later. With that being said, I hope you guys have the knowledge that you need. As far as Juneteenth is concerned, please spread it. Please tell your neighbor, did you know? Please tell your coworkers, did you know that today is the day that my people pop off fireworks and celebrate our freedom? Just like you guys celebrate your freedom, do you not understand and respect that we celebrate ours as well? Let me give you some fun facts, and I just gave you 15 to share with them. Virginia police arrest a suspect in, they believe, beating and murdering a 17-year-old Muslim girl. I have no idea why we are so surprised that Muslims are being bullied, beat on, murdered, when we have a president that said, if you punch him in the face, I'll pay your legal fees. And we're wondering, oh wait, where's all this hate coming from? Why aren't we labeling them hate crimes? When we have people that are being murdered and slaughtered in the name of Christianity, in the name of white power, we don't see these across our screen as hate crimes and terrorism, but they are. What happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma? That was terrorism. We don't say it. Uh-oh. Sorry, the live messing up, y'all. My apologies. There you go. What? Y'all know I could stand on a soapbox, right? There it is. Hey! I love this song. Police in Fairfax, Virginia found a body that they believe to be a 17-year-old girl missing after she was abducted walking home from an IHOP restaurant to her mosque on Saturday night. She was 22 years old. Her name was Darwin Martinez Torres, and she was taken in the reported the 22-year-old Darwin Martinez Torres was taken into custody after the remains were found in a pond on Sunday afternoon, and he was charged with murder. According to witnesses, Narab Hussein was with a group of teens from their mosque, and they were going to the mosque, and a man pulled up and got out wielding a baseball bat, and he attacked her, and the friends called the police, and a frantic search went on, and unfortunately they found her remains by the pond. At 17 years old, that was somebody's baby. She's someone's daughter. She could have been somebody's mother, but unfortunately her life was taken. We have to be mindful of what's going on in our world, mindful of how can we help. I want to give a huge shout out to Michael and Camille Giraldi. They have become the legal guardians of over 88 special needs children and adults ever since the couple first met in 1973 at the Miami's Children's Hospital. They knew they were destined to care for kids. As Camille worked as a nurse and Michael toiled as a pediatrician, they dedicated their careers to healing and watching over young patients, some who had special needs and had been abandoned by their parents. Michael was renowned for offering his services to low-income families free of charge, while Camille often spent late nights at the hospital reading to disabled children. After they got married 2 years later, the lovebirds started adopting disabled orphans from the hospital. The children were diagnosed with everything from autism to cerebral palsy, with facial deformities and Down syndrome. Whatever the difficulties, the Giraldis loved them all. I love these kids, said Camille. Though it can be challenging, draining, exhausting work, when you have your faith, you just keep going. They have legally adopted over 88 children over the last 30 years. And I'm not saying that's something you should do, but you know in your heart what you can do. You know in your heart what you should do. You know in your heart what's the right thing to do. What are you doing? Are you doing what you know you're supposed to be doing? Unfortunately, I said another, which means there was a first one. Noose was found at the National Mall over and over and over again. I can't think of the baby's name right now, but there was a baby found hanging in Atlanta, Georgia, after the white supremacists had their rally, the KKK had their rally, and it was deemed a suicide. A boy was hung. I believe it was in a park, like by the expressway in Atlanta in 2016. This is real life. We can't make this up. Black engineering student allegedly stabbed to death by his white roommate. Is that called hate crime? Probably not. Is that called terrorism? Probably not. Last but not least, as far as stories are concerned, no, I have a couple more that I'd like to share with you. A woman sues a casino after they offered her a steak dinner instead of the $43 million jackpot that she won. I want you to imagine for a second that you won the jackpot. You won $43 million. The bells are ringing. Ding, 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 ding. Everything's going, and you're like, hey. You got so excited. You took pictures. You ready to go. I'm about to pay this 1/3 real quick. We about to take the rest to the bank. And then they're like, this is a technical difficulty. We're sorry, but we can offer you a steak dinner. EFF that. No. So she said, she's from Queens, and the casino offered her a free steak dinner. She went ahead and said, oh, okay, I got you. Suing. And I hope she gets all $43 million, and I hope it's $43 million after taxes, because you try to play me. $43 million after legal fees and after taxes. Give me my money because you made me come to court. Don't play me. Shout out to Jay-Z, Beyonce. They went ahead and had their twins and their Geminis. We'll see what happens when they become elders. I'd love to see what they grow up to be. I can imagine they're really good parents, but you probably already knew that. You probably already knew. Because if you knew nothing else as far as news is concerned, you knew Jay-Z and Beyonce had twins, right? Yeah, because that's the only thing that's important in America. Philando Castile, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and play this song because I want to play what his mama said. Because I replay it over and over again and it gives me chills. I replay it over and over again and I cry my heart out. I play it over and over again because she is the only one to have said anything. Anything Armando Diallo, no conviction. Freddie Gray, no conviction. Tamir Rice, no conviction. Mike Brown, no conviction. Eric Gardner, no conviction. Sandra Bland, no conviction. Philando Castile, no conviction. She is the only one that stood there on that podium and said, your little mixed children finna be next. You think it's fun and games now. You think you have no worries now. Your little mixed children are next. I said, damn, she's bold. I thought Sandra Bland's mama was going to come out of pocket. Philando Castile's mother came all the way out of pocket, and I hope she continues. Because I know, Tamir Rice and Mike Brown and Eric Gardner's family were very reserved, but Eric Gardner's daughter went on blast. They suppressed her real quick. No conviction. But they over here like, yo, we need to get Bill Cosby need to go to jail today. But police officers that are killing, no weapons. I want to give a loving shout out to DJ Henry's family. We have our own problems here too. We're not exempt. We have felt loss. A school does nothing after a kill list targeting black students is released. Administrators of Monta Vista High School in California are being put on blast by an African-American leader for not taking action following the discovery of a hit list targeting black students last fall. If we allow this to happen to one community member, we allow this to happen to everyone. Ross Poussey of the Alliance Black and Brown Advocates stated, you're talking about killing people in school. Killing people, you understand? Killing people, he said. The list was posted on social media last fall, according to reports by a student at Fairmont Union High School District. The sheriff has failed to act appropriately. They said the school has failed to act appropriately. They said they created a kill list, and the list were the names of 7 African-American students in the school. And what are they doing about this? There was another message that went out 2 months ago that talked about lynching, you know the word. It was posted on Instagram. The student received no punishment. The school took no action. The parents probably believe it. That's why the baby feels so much conviction towards it. There is a program that teaches youth how to become investors and build long-term wealth. When investor Rendell Solomon was looking for the perfect present for his niece, he went to the store and he didn't find anything. Instead, he made her part owner of some of the most well-known companies and brands through purchasing stock in Apple, Disney, and Nike. He's expanding on that special investment from his niece and broadened his mission. Solomon is now the founder of One Stock, One Future, a program geared towards getting underprivileged youth access to financial literacy and impactful opportunities. Their mission is to turn 1 million economically disadvantaged youth into public company shareholders. The program not only teaches young people ages 8 to 18 how to financially be responsible, but it also opens their own investment accounts and donates one share of stock immediately, turning them into shareholders. Solomon started his career as a project engineer, eventually earning his MBA from Columbia University, and he entered the world of private equity. He said that the inspiration for One Stock, One Future came from his own childhood. Growing up in the west side of Chicago, he didn't learn anything about investing until he got older, and now he works in the industry, realizing how much little information that he has. I saw a meme joking about how Chameleonaire has no money and how funny it is that Chameleonaire is broke and he was sitting sideline of a basketball game. Like, dude, where you get your bread from? You ain't made a song in XYZ years. And Chameleonaire, the whole clap back situation, He clapped back. He was like, I was in the music business for years. I saw everybody around me getting money, but they weren't wealthy. They were rich, but they weren't wealthy. I come to Silicon Valley, and I'm here with the engineers, and I'm here with the techs, and I'm here with the startups, and there's 22-year-olds that are billionaires with real wealth. I jumped out the music field and jumped into tech, jumped into technology, jumped into startups. That's where the wealth is. I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. That's how I can afford courtside seats. And I was like, yo, that's the realest clapback I've ever heard. That's the truth right there. Long-term wealth. You know what? That is a great segue. Let me tell you about this Sunday Boston Business Builder. So this Sunday, I was honored this weekend to be on 2 separate radio stations. I was interviewed this weekend about the Boston Business Builder, and I'm so blessed, and I thank both stations for having me on to talk about why I feel it's so important to have, to talk about, we need to talk about Black generational wealth. We have to talk about Black entrepreneurship. We have to teach the babies and teach these children how to build wealth, how to keep wealth. What is intergenerational wealth? Do you even know what that means? Do these children know what that means? Shout out to Noah B. Jones. He is the child of intergenerational wealth. His father was an entrepreneur. He owns Reparations on Columbia Road. On the right-hand side, when you're coming up from Upham's Corner, it's yellow and blue. There's fruit. You can buy food. There's vegetables. It's like a market and where you can get a plate of food at the same time. We have no clue. We have money, baby. We have, 1.3, $1.7 trillion. We have money. America runs because of us. Not because of, you know who it is, but because of us. $1.7 trillion every single year that we just throw out there. Professor Devin Robinson opened beauty supply stores, 90% of the beauty supply stores in the United States. Please tell me how many Black-owned beauty supply stores you've been to in the last 10 years. I will widen that gap to 10 years, not in the last year. In the last 10 years, how many Black-owned beauty supply stores have you walked into? When that baby said, hey, how are you? How can I help you? I see you, have a little alopecia, have some products here to help you. How? How many? Baby, that weave ain't for you. Let me show you something that's better fitted for you. How many? Professor Devin will be here to talk about all aspects of business. The Urban Business Institute is another business he has, teaching us about, again, generational wealth, Black entrepreneurship. Shout out to Tracy Syfax. He had a blemish past. He still has a blemish past. I bet today if Tracy Syfax went into a store or went into a business, filled out an application just as Tracy Syfax, the individual, and was just like, I want a job, and they do a background check, I can almost guarantee that Tracy Syfax could not get a job. I can almost guarantee. They will not employ him because of his past. But guess what? He said, you know what? I'm not out here chasing a check. I'm going to create my own lane. I'm going to do what I want to do. And now he runs multi-million-dollar enterprises. And I say enterprise because Professor Devin told us that an enterprise is something that you could walk away from. You could go on vacation for 3 to 6 months and it'll still work on its own with your employees working. Well, how do I get somebody that I actually trust to work in my job? Oh, that's a good question. Let's discuss that. June 25th. Shout out to Anna Maven. She's so good at branding and marketing, and that's something that you need to, explode your business. She's not even Anna Foster. She's Anna Maven. Monica Koss, she is absolutely amazing, from being a motivational coach to knowing how to navigate through these spaces. She was the first in Massachusetts, the youngest in Massachusetts real estate broker working for a big firm. LV Randolph, how do we get capital outside of banks, especially when banks that even look like us aren't giving out money? This is going to be an amazing event. I hope you're there. All the babies are free. If you have a child under the age of 18, tell that baby to come with the bus pass, their school ID. I want the babies to get the knowledge. I want them to get the wisdom. Everything I can't teach them, you can't teach them. There's experts for that. There's people who that know this game, that play this game, that are winning. Let them teach your baby, so that baby can come home and teach you. We got a call on the line, 617-282-0062. To answer that question, it's the Bruce Bowling Building. It's this Sunday. It's 12 to 6 p.m. Tickets, general admission tickets right now are $25. General VIP tickets are currently on sale for $45. They do and will go up, and when they do, they will be $75. That $75 puts you dead front and center of everybody, shaking hands, kissing babies, asking questions, and getting answers on your time. Instead of them running out and rushing out. That keynote is in VIP. The general is $25. Please get your ticket, because I don't know if they're going to let us do tickets at the door. So just be mindful. I know Bostonians don't like to get tickets in advance, but you're going to have to do what you have to do to get the knowledge that you want. What's the saying? You got to do something you ain't never did before to get something you ain't never had before. What you want? What don't you have? Let's get it. Good Rise and Caller, you live. Hey, baby, how are you?
Calling to talk. I'm really enjoying your conversation about generational wealth and what we need to do, especially here in Boston, to make sure that that's happening for people, especially as new industries are moving into our state.
Thank you.
Calling specifically to talk about something that's happening today and tomorrow around this new cannabis industry that people may have heard.
Tell me about it, baby. Tell me.
So people should be really aware that cannabis is being legalized all across the country. And here in the East Coast, Massachusetts, as we well know, back in November, we voted as a state for this $1 billion industry to come here to Massachusetts. And one of the things that we were very concerned about, as you know, the war on drugs has been a war on our communities. And our communities have been the ones that have been suffering for all of these years of prohibition. Over 80% of the people in jail for cannabis infractions are black and brown, despite the fact that black and white...
Hold on. I'm sorry. Did I give that statistic again?
80%. Black people and white people use cannabis at the same rate, yet 80% of the people in jail are people of color. So 4 times the amount of people are in jail, people of color over white. And I'm an attorney in Massachusetts. My name's Chanel Lindsay, and I one of only two people of color on the drafting committee to make cannabis legal in Massachusetts. I own a cannabis company, and I also have been a medical patient for over 16 years. And wrote this bill, and when we were writing this bill, it was very important that we make a place color part of this industry. Because what we saw in other states like Colorado that legalized cannabis, even after legalization, not only were people prosecuted and put in jail at higher rates than whites, but they were also shut out of the industry. So hundreds and hundreds of legal spent in Colorado. 1% are owned by people of color. See the problem there, right? Not only are we persecuted under the war on drugs, then when it becomes legal, we're not to have any kind of ownership. So that was important to change that here in Mass. And I can say I'm very proud to get that in the initiative. Two specific, very important point to get into the law. One that people with prior felonies could not be excluded from the cannabis industry. Because that's exactly what led you in Colorado. think about 80% are in jail or color. Don't let people prior felony involved in industry. All of that wealth is locked out of our community. We were able to get that in the initiative to make sure that people weren't excluded. The other thing we got is.
I'm sorry. Can I cut you off really quickly? Can you how is the bill drafted? Not specific language, but how is the bill drafted that allow those with prior felony charges for weed or cannabis to be involved?
Yep. So it basically says you cannot be excluded. If you have a felony for prior cannabis, very clear explain what was needed. There was also a provision in there that said when the cannabis commission, that's the government body in charge of new cannabis industry. When they make rules around this industry, they need aware and they improve our community that allow from our community involved in their inclusion. That was a good win for us. Big problem. The House came up with a bill. Basically got all of those provisions. It would exclude everyone with a felony. Not only from owning a business, but from working in a testing laboratory, or even having a business does business in the cannabis industry. There's also a provision that says if you have an associate, like a family member with a felony, that could exclude you. You can see what the problem is.
Hold on, the House bill said if you had an associate.
That's right. Think about that. Think about your family member has felony. That could keep from being involved in the industry.
I just want 5 seconds. Maybe I want you to think about anybody in your family, your friend, your neighborhood, somebody that you associate with, somebody that a private detective could say, I seen they were together, and he got a felony. They can't get a dispensary. I think everyone can say that right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
No. This is very angry about. And on top of that, they are crimes for action. So we have a group called Equitable Opportunities Now. It's a grassroots that we put together. A coalition includes ministers, includes community members, us, folks fighting on the cannabis side, and everyone today. Set up a script and people call their state rep. Need to call the members of the House. They're going to be voting on Wednesday. We have 2 days to make a difference between us. Let me tell you something. Think about when is the last time that brand new industry built from the ground up has come to this state. I don't think anybody here can give anything as large, big, absolutely the opportunity, real ownership sitting here, and we have to be able to take advantage of it. And people take a small amount of time today, script up online. There's a URL together. Just finishing right now. We have a Facebook page called MASSO, Operable Now. We'll have the instructions up there. In 2 hours. People can begin calling and saying it's not something that people should be concerned about. When you're calling a state rep, you're not really the rep. It's the rep with staffers that's there. That's their job. Answer the calls from citizens. So it would take 30 seconds and all the different. Also rallying on Wednesday. I'd love to come out morning a little bit more about that. But it's the difference between whether our children and whether we are able to build the type of wealth that we're seeing come to Colorado and California, and don't mistake this. This is a billion-dollar industry in our backyard. We are going to be involved or not. He's government over the next 2 days.
So again, on Facebook, it's Equitable Opportunities Now. Eon is green and it has 2 loops together. So really quickly, we're gonna send us the link. What do we need to do? Like clear instructions do we need to do over the next 2 days to ensure that we in our community, maybe not me personally, maybe I don't care about cannabis. I really don't care about none of this. Why is this important to me? And why do I need a phone or write a letter or whatever you want me to do? Why should I do this?
It was right before I came on. Already discussed. This is about opportunity for ownership. It's about building wealth. It's about helping our community. Even if people are opposed to cannabis. First of all, they should look into it more than honestly. We had amazing capabilities for our community. But even beyond that, we are talking about opportunity. And there's no way. If we're going to be on the table, only going to be consumers. And there's an opportunity, incredible wealth. Even if they haven't before, people are millionaires off in the positive way, back to work. And otherwise, in art that are going to be solely the consumers. And we're going to be building wealth again for our neighbors and not ourselves. And we need to make sure that does not happen. It's going to be very simple for people. Very simple script, which is indicating the house they need. Make sure that felonies are not excluded. That's going to harm our community. And they need that equity language already very hard to get included. Days included. And again, the folks that helped us work on that equity language, those were community business leaders. Those were professors from Northeastern Law School. Those were pastors, ministers, and Union of Minority Neighborhoods that was helping. So these are folks that are focused on what you were earlier, building wealth, protecting our community, giving us opportunity, and that's what people are meaning about here. It's about opportunities, it's about protecting people from getting excluded. Like we always end up being there. We actually have an opportunity here to control this part of owning this. And so when we up on the stage, it will be a very short script saying. You need to protect people with felonies, and you need key bar language included. Literally, for 30 seconds, call up, reps. We'll have a link so that you really look and find your calling. If you don't know your rep. And there are also a couple of health members on that marijuana drafting committee, and we have a list of those. So it's good for people to call their state rep, and those people that are on the here and know equity and the stopping the war on drug in our community is what's important and what needs to be done.
So two things that we need to make sure that either A, we have a seat on the table, so we are not on the menu, or B, so that your brother's cousin has a seat at the table, so they're not on the menu. We will have those links, access to those links, so you can go ahead and find out who your state rep is. We will also give you the script, what you need to say. My name is TaylaAndre, and I am today because Bill such and such, like you will have everything you need, all the language, all the phone numbers you need by the end of today, and over the next 2 days, even going in Wednesday rising, they get phone calls. I want to remind you really quickly, when we came out in droves for the BRA meeting that took place in Roxbury, you guys remember at the elders' house, and it was so packed. They locked the doors. Nobody else can come in. When people stood up and pointed at fingers and said, "No, they're not going to take over our city," and the BRA had to go back to the table and rework some things. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to hold people accountable. We need to hold the fire. We need to say, "Hell nah." Hell no. I believe it was Melissa Scott Perry that said, all of our men, how many men and women do we have that are in jail serving for the very that white men are getting paid for legally.
That's right. We're already seeing this wealth come massive. There are nine dispensaries right now, and not one of them is owned by a person of color. And this is only the beginning. And businesses making their marketing in the community, and they're already starting something that these generations will benefit from. It's not from our community. And the way that the house come out, we can slap in the face everything we have very hard get all of these pieces in. We went to the initiative, and at that point all voted on them, and that was a huge. We were standing outside Roxbury Court, Judge Howard about how even after criminalization, our children being upcharged, overcharged, and that legalization was not only necessary, help people that are active cannabis, but it protects our children. So we've gotten to that point of legalizing, and now they want to shut us out. There's no other way to say it. They made important language optional. We know means nothing. We need to fix that. And they have excluded any way they can anybody, any type of felony conviction, and then really put this very sneaky beer to allow people excluded by associating with people that have felonies.
Okay.
And look at our community. It's time for us to mobilize. It's time for us to shut it down.
Attorney Chanel Lindsay worked on the bill that is currently on the table as far as cannabis legislation is concerned. Let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Chanel, did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
So let's play devil's advocate really quick. So if you have a felony, you're a felon. We don't need you out dealing with drugs. Like we already have the radio talking about Molly Percocet. Kids is 17 and addicted on drugs, dead by 25. We don't. The war on drugs is real. We don't need more felons out here pushing drugs to our kids. Like. Why would we even support this? This sounds ridiculous. This sounds like I'm setting my kid up to be a drug addict. You want me to call and say felons be drug dealers?
So that may be the initial reaction. But just like everything else, looking a little further, there's some nuances there. Now, first of all, when we wrote and with past felonies, we were specifically looking at people with cannabis felonies, right? And when I started this conversation, I gave you a number that really shocked you. And we should go back to that number. Which is that 80% of people who have felonies or cannabis are black and brown. Even though white people and white cannabis is the same, right? So when you look at people in cannabis felony, right there, you're looking at discrimination. You're looking at the fact that majority of those they were white, they wouldn't have felonies. And so when you go and you look at something that's a racial bias, charging system, and then you go and apply that system to a new legal economy. What you're doing is setting out the racism that exists in the enforcement and putting it into a new legal economy. And just to your point, when the original language that we had in there was that people prior to cannabis conviction, felony couldn't be kept out in the legal industry unless it was selling to minors. So we understand put that in there. We don't want anybody else selling to kids. But people with regular cannabis convictions, they were white, they wouldn't have those convictions. So to keep them out, and to keep people with prior cannabis out would essentially eliminate a large portion of the people in our knowledge have knowledge. And guess what? White people that have dealt with cannabis. When the new industry comes along, they're considered great employees because they actually have experience with cannabis. So where our brothers and sisters, they're felons shouldn't be involved. Other people, they're great employees. And so we need to level that playing field. And we haven't never encouraged people or would allow people who had impacted their children. So all we're trying to do is level the playing field here. And that's the lane encouraging to include it again, which is prior cannabis felonies. Maintain it, put it back where we originally had it. Which in our opinion, people, even if that's the feeling, people look at the larger drug war on drugs, they will realize that felonies. They're very disproportionate. So while absolutely children shouldn't have access to drugs, look at the cannabis community. One of the biggest of cannabis community is getting off the opiates. We understand how damaging Percocets and heroin is for community. And people look very closely and deeper at it. Where medical marijuana come in. Overdose opiates drop by almost 25%. So that's probably a conversation for a day. What people should understand is that people who have been in jail for cannabis infractions is something we should be expunging at this, because the harm to our community for felonies for cannabis. I don't have to tell you the damage that causes not only the individual, the entire family, and then the broader community.
So, we are currently talking. Maybe shut your radio off for me, please. With Chanel Lindsay is an attorney, and she was one of the two people of color that were sitting at the table drafting this cannabis bill. And the language she is saying very decisive. The language is stating basically, if you what my grandma law-abiding citizens, have cousin, uncle, friend who lives across the street that has a felony conviction for marijuana, felony conviction for weed, felony conviction for selling weed, then you, my friend, could never owner of a dispensary because you associate yourself with felons. Not felons that are out there mass murdering people, but felons that are labeled under the war on drugs of selling weed at once upon a time. One of the questions that I have for you personally is that you are an attorney. You've been a medical marijuana medicinal user for over 16 years. Can you tell me? Because I know my cousin attorney, and they go all the way back. You got in a fight in 7th grade. You cannot pass the bar. How did that work for you?
So after my son got into a variance, and people that have those they'll know it's very painful, and sometimes you have to have surgery to get it out. I decided that I didn't want these pharmaceuticals that they were giving me, and I started taking cannabis, topical, edibles, repositories, and for 16 years now, that kept me healthy, not having surgery, and not having pharmaceuticals. And fortunately for me, I've been able to avoid some of the prosecution. Although I'll tell you, back in 2010, I was stopped on the way to work, and arrested for having a small amount of cannabis. And that happened to Sharon, as I was addressing the attorney going to work. You can imagine what's happening to our young men in the middle of the city. For small amounts of cannabis. We saw that. There was a case called Umberto H. where a young man went to school. He had small amount of cannabis. Should have been a fine, $100. And he ended up getting charged with possession with strict. They were charging a young child felony. And it went all the way up in court, and then got dismissed. And that was Judge Lee Harris saying this was ridiculous. These were charges that I was personally fighting to make this illegal economy was regulated and taxed. That we actually have money going back millions and transactions that happen every year. To educate, stop kids from music. To put this in an adult youth place where people can benefit medicinally, and also benefit from relaxation and all the different things that it can help with. But absolutely, even as a medical lawyer, something that I was fearful, and I could have lost everything. Being able to understanding the law and being able to advocate myself. Unfortunately, most of us can't do that. Most of us don't know the law. And if it did come down to it, we would end up with a charge. And that's the problem. Only us and our getting charged. Finally, in 2016, we were able, with the vote last year, to make that change. But now, all of that hard work, everything they go down the drain. If they don't respect these important equities, and if they try cut us out of the industry. That's why it's so important for us to mobilize. And you said it. If people are calling, they cannot ignore We're showing up on Wednesday. We're calling tomorrow. They have no choice but to do what they should do, which is to protect us. We're not asking for all we're asking for a level playing field. People care about that. People care about actually changing Boston and making for one an industry that everyone can be part of and all take well from it. Let's not be naive here. This is going to billions of dollars of wealth. We're going to be part of it. We're going to be shut out.
You know what? Attorney should now currently on the line. I have two questions. I have a question and I have a statement. I want to talk about last. Remember, I was telling you guys mostly social media about a course that I took. It was a huge convention at the convention center. It was cannabis and commercial real estate. And as a real estate agent, I was. What? I would love to be there. Let's go learn. And I was really confused about all of the white men in the room. They were like a sprinkle of white women, but white men in the room. I was the only person of color in the building. In this space, and they were talking about like a billions of dollars, like $1 million harvest. What does $1 million harvest look like? I understand, like it doesn't take 6 years to harvest. So you're looking at turnover, ridiculous turnover of funds, millions of dollars for one guy talking about his facility, and that's how he prefaced. I have a facility, and I was just wondering, when he said 1.something million dollars harvest. I was like, hold on, what? How? So my question really quickly has nothing to do with that, but I just want to let you guys know, like, this weed makes money. I know for the drug dealers that are currently on the street pushing or selling weed. Like, there's no money in weed. That's why people out here Molly advertising on radio. But there's no money in small drug dealers out here playing with. And I think last week I made the analogy like, in comparison to what's going on in these spaces that we're not a part of, our drug dealers that think they're baking bread are playing with pennies in first grade. In comparison to the money that is made out here. One of the questions that I do have as an attorney is I don't have clarification on whether or not if you have your medical marijuana card in any capacity, in any state, if you have a medical marijuana card, can you be denied for your firearm license?
The answer is yeah. Because regardless of what happens at the state level, cannabis is still legal at federal level. And so people and I have discussion comes up a lot. You have a lot of people benefiting from medical marijuana, but they choose not to get a card and register because they don't be on that registry because when it is time to locally your firearm license, rule is not be allowed like now. I do also know medical patients who just remember again, licensing happens on town and local level, and so it really depends on how badly that sheriff looking at application and how honest that person. I just know several people who have still been able to maintain that license, and I'm assuming that they're not 100% truthful when they're going in about whether they have a medical card or not. And so that's the reason why it wasn't to fully legalized. And in fact, that social justice, and I'm not sure if people saw ACLU came out in this report during our campaign about this demonstrate that I talked about how our communities are being cannabis where white communities are not. And released a map in Boston showing exactly where marijuana offense had happened within the last year. And they showed white red dots. And the city was broken up in where people were colorless and where white population you could see. You almost couldn't agree in areas where people colorless because they were so covered with red dots.
Can you share that when you share the link so we can make calls? And I urge you guys call to action. And if you're available on phone call, I need you to have the same passion you have your baby daddy. I need you to have the same passion call your baby mama. I need you to have the same passion. Frustrated and angry because you paid something, they are charging you again because in the back end. You're gonna be extremely upset when you find out that your uncle who never did nothing in the world can't own a dispensary or can't do anything in the cannabis world because cousin Ray got a conviction which has nothing to do with Uncle Roy. I need you guys with passion. We shut down the BRA when they came to Roxbury at Elder Service, and we can do it again. We absolutely can do it again. I need you to call your senator. I need you to call. We're gonna put all of this online. As soon as I get the information I'll come back tomorrow. We'll give the host again. You know what? Better yet, Facebook Live a phone call. Okay? I'll be the first. Facebook Live a phone call today. And we'll can't really call tomorrow on air so early in the rising. But we will. I'll be the first to do it. I can't ask something if I'm not going to do it myself. Ashe. So really quick, we do have a call on the line. You're currently on the line with attorney Chanel Lindsay. If you have any questions, 287-282-0006. Good rising, live.
I'm good rising. I actually have a few questions. And I'm trying to get it all in my head. Attorney Lindsay, both on quality language, could you state that so I can understand what you're saying? Also, the bill now. Where can we get a copy of that? Put that on the website. Lastly, also mention they own the dispensary, and if how do you go about doing that? And lastly, have other radio station or communication that they'll primarily so get enough calling and do what you do. So I'll hang up and wait for you to respond.
Those are great questions, baby. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Attorney Lindsay, you want to answer those questions?
Absolutely. So the equity language that. Sorry, I think I'm having a little back. Equity language that we got included was specifically this. It says that the commission would have to promulgate regulations. Commission came together. They would have to have that promoted full inclusion from communities that have been harmed by prohibition. And positive impact those communities. So there were two pieces of the equity, which was one that they need to make sure that were included and included in that we were included in the industry and had opportunity in the industry. So actual ownership opportunity for employment. And then the second piece was that the regulation in general when it came here would positively impact our community. And so that mandatory piece of the law, which would then have required that mission when they're making all their about the industry to have rules positively impact us, would allow us to participate. Now what we started working with our law school, and we started pushing to our EON group is what does it mean to impact our community? So we actually have a report from the Northeast, and we also have other reports from the Boston Council. Started working with Presley, Jackson, and really embraced this. Working very hard on what that actually what does positive impact our actually mean. So we have a whole demand for mission, but in order for those demands to be met, need to make sure that the equity actually in the law, and that's where we are right now. The House bill takes out that it just makes it optional, and it doesn't have rules around it. So it becomes nothing, and that's why we make sure that the House bill gets page. Now the second app is send over the language of the House bill. Take a look. You'll see felony language and all throughout. Big problem there. It's a good point to be made though about the House bill versus Senate bill. They're actually bills pending right now. One of them is the Senate version of the bill. The Senate did actually a job with their version of the bill. Their version has good things. We're not upset about the Senate version. What we're worried about is the House version. The House version goes up first. On Wednesday. If that passes, those provisions are likely going to be included. The Senate bill passes, so we need sure that we are House bill today. And so I will send that over. So take a look at that House bill, and they can see what that issue. And Tayla, you mentioned earlier you were at the real estate convention. And I think it's important for remember about this felony issue. It's not only want to apply and actually get it, but imagine own a building. And you don't want to but you just want to lease that building to somebody in the industry. If you have a felony, or you have somebody associated with it has a felony, that could keep you from renting your property and being associated with or doing business with the cannabis business. That's how important, and that's how pervasive felony blocks are in the House bill. So not only does it completely take away the protection we have, but it makes it even harder for anybody associated with any felony involved. And that's completely unacceptable.
Attorney Lindsay, can you tell us who drafted the House bill and who are the co-sponsors?
Exactly. So Leo behind the House bill, and there are other co-sponsors listed individually. Those co-sponsors. Just to call your member of the House, is going to be very important for us to call those co-sponsors of the bill and call the Leo's office. All of those listed when I'm sending information today. Around 8 or 9 that we'll have together in the list. Perfect time. That's everybody and all the staff are ready and to be taking those calls. And then to our callers, last couple of questions. I believe two questions to clarify. One is about how I got into this, and was there a last question too?
So she hung up, and her last question was. I completely forgot, but she did want to know how did you get into this and whether or not you had a dispensary. That's what she said. Is that true that you have a dispensary or are you just in the business?
I don't own a dispensary, and I think it's important. This is now in what are the opportunities in the cannabis for people? And there are two different sides of the cannabis industry. There's people that touch the plant. That's a term. Touching the plant. That means you actually own a place, grows the plant. Or process or sells the plant. That's what's required for license underneath this system. My business, we actually developed technology, and I made a device. People can take a look. Michael, look like ours called Cannabis, ARDNDIS.com. And basically, I developed a laboratory grade activator. So it's a electronic device that people can make accurate cannabis products. So they can make topical and edible. Basically, I developed my own trials tribulating a patient, and it was difficult for me to make that, and it's super easy for that. There's the science about the data behind it. So over these last years, laboratory developing this device really allows any person, even if they've never used cannabis before, to make any product that they want, to have an accurate dose with that product and be able to use it as better medicine. And so, I'm just an example of the fact that you don't actually need to own a dispensary to be in this industry. That there are many different business opportunities. The problem is, for example, if I had a felony now, I might not be able to even sell my product to a dispensary when they open and come online, more of them. And so that's the issue, is even if you don't have to be licensed, it's very important for us to have an even playing field in this industry, because there are lots of different opportunities, even if you don't grow the plant, for you to either develop a technology or maybe just even use your traditional skills that you have now. or even, somebody with any particular skill set. Cannabis is just like any other industry. It needs good, knowledgeable people in all different kinds of professions in order to build up the industry.
And I want to say, how many of us know Pookie and them that are very well-versed in the profession and can become millionaires doing what they did prior to being incarcerated and having it done legal, to be a legal, quote-unquote, drug dealer, for them to do what they know best. They know weed, they know the strands, they know this, they know that, and you're like, I don't know what you can do, Pookie, because you just know about weed. But now, if this bill is properly drafted, if this bill is accepted, the Senate bill, not the House bill, if the Senate bill is properly, accepted, then Pookie can take his skills that he learned from the street. Shout out to Tracy Sagfax, from the block to the boardroom. Like, he could take his knowledge from the street and become a legal businessman.
And we are already seeing this happen. When we passed medical marijuana back in 2013, I can tell you, I can name 10 people that I knew that had no business experience. All they knew was about cannabis. Now, these people are running these dispensaries. They are the general manager of dispensaries. They are breaking in. Can I tell you that a bud tender, so this is a retail clerk at a dispensary, starts at $20 an hour with benefits? These are good jobs.
Are they hiring? I got 12 jobs. I'll add another one.
We are involved in that as well. And we are, can I tell you something? Nobody with a felony can work in a medical marijuana dispensary. We've already been cut out of that industry. So this is an opportunity. Adult use is going to be even bigger than medical. We have a chance to make it happen here, but we need everyone's help.
I thank you so much, Attorney Lindsay. How can we find you? How can we find these links? If I'm not connected to Tayla, I don't like Tayla, I'm not going to Tayla's page. How can we find you? How can we get this information about the bill, both Senate and House? And how can we find your business? Because, I'm thinking about making some weed butter, some cannabis butter real quick.
So people go on Facebook. Facebook is where everything's going to be happening over these next couple of days. So Masseon, Masseon. If you search for that in the Facebook bar, that'll bring you to Equitable Opportunities Now, that Facebook page. Find me on Facebook. Connect with me. Link in with me, and you'll see everything that's going on in the cannabis space. So my name is spelled Chanel, but it's an S. So it's Shanel. My last name's Lindsay, Lindsay. You'll see me on Facebook, and check out my webpage, Ardent Cannabis. So it's ARDENT Cannabis, CANNABIS.com. You can learn about decarboxylation. That's what my device does, and all about medical cannabis, my story, what's going on in Massachusetts. And I will be sending over those links to you, Tayla, so hopefully you can push those out to your audience as well. And that will be the EON link and the link to this website, which is the Emergency Action Day of calling in. We have this one chance to make it happen. Do we want to be in, or do we want to be out? I heard Reverend Al Sharpton came and actually spoke in New York at this convention that I was speaking at over this weekend. He said we're being locked up, and we can't be locked up and locked out of the industry. Our people are being locked up in the community, and now we're getting locked out of the industry, and we need to make sure that does not happen.
So I just started following you on LinkedIn. You are absolutely gorgeous, Miss Lindsay.
Well, thank you.
You are very welcome. And I would like to extend a statement Tracy D. Syfax made. He stated this Sunday, you need to be present at the Boston Business Builder. He is from New Jersey, and even though he's from New Jersey, I think he has a lot of questions to ask you that we won't be able to get through on these phone lines. So I would love for you to be in attendance on Sunday for the Boston Business Builder, so we can talk about generational wealth, so we can talk about Black entrepreneurship, and we could maybe Eon will be able to be in the building as well and educate people on their rights on cannabis legislation. And I know we will be past the deadline of Wednesday, but at least people can still get that knowledge if you guys are able to come on Sunday, June 25th, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Bospoli building.
Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely be able to have a representative there, and that's a great point, because part of what EON is doing is bringing this education to people people. So if we have other community members or churches or groups, we are happy to come out and have these conversations with people, let them know how they can get involved, because this is the time for us to take action now. It's too late to make a place at the table. We need to take our piece right now as it's being built, and we're happy to have those conversations with everyone.
Wake Up with TaylaAndre. That is Chanel Lindsay, attorney Chanel Lindsay, one of the only two people of color that were sitting at the table while the bill was being drafted for the cannabis legislation. If you guys have any questions, we definitely can have Chanel Lindsay back on air tomorrow to answer your questions. But we will have everything we need by 9 a.m. today. And as soon as 9 a.m. hits, I need you to take your 15-minute break real quick and call up your senator. Call he's actually the House Speaker, isn't he?
Yep.
Wow. So we'll have all the phone numbers for you to call. I want you to give yourself a pat on the back because of you, those that came out to the Elder Service House in Roxbury, those that came out, those that got locked out, those that got shut out because we just had too many people in the building, I need you to know what that number looked like. I need you to remember how it felt when it was us against those 3 people in the front of the room trying to convince us of how taking the land in Roxbury and building their own whatever was going to be great for us when we weren't going to be able to afford anything. They had to go back to the table, redraw up a few things, and then represent it. And it was because of you, because you took your time out to come out to the Elder Service House. We are asking for you to make phone calls. Call your senator. Call the co-sponsors on this bill and tell, it's not going down like that. You're not locking me up and locking me out. Last question really quickly. As far as you said something like, as far as marijuana is concerned, as far as cannabis is concerned, at this point, that should be expunged off a record. Do you have any knowledge of any bills that are looking to do so?
Yes, in fact, the Senate bill includes expungement. So that's why we're very happy with the Senate bill. They've actually gone above and beyond and started looking at some of these things that, they actually were listening to us. The House went completely the other way. And so the Senate bill, we're in favor of that. We're supporting that. And we feel like it has a great chance of passing. And that vote doesn't take place until later this week, Thursday or Friday, where the House bill, which basically goes the exact opposite way, is up for vote on Wednesday. And that's the one we need to change that. They need to change that language. They need to put our equity language back in, and they need to remove all of this ridiculous felony nonsense and put it back to where we had it, which is the people with cannabis felonies can't be excluded unless it's for selling to minors.
I thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day. That is attorney Chanel Lindsay. We are talking about the cannabis legislation, and even if you are completely against cannabis, generational wealth could start with your cousin Pookie that knows everything and anything about weed, and this is what he does. This is what he knows. That's all he's done his whole life. He's been in and out of jail. I can't tell you. I got a couple of them that have been in and out of jail and sell this and sell that. Do you know how successful they could be if this was a route that they could take? Wake Up with TaylaAndre. Shout out to Andre Evans. I thank you. I love you. Do not forget, once again, I'm going to remind you, this Sunday, tickets are currently on sale. If you want that VIP so you can shake hands, so you can hug and kiss babies, and you can ask questions, and you can get the book, I need you to be in the building. Get your VIP ticket. That's currently $45 for you to get a book, shake hands, ask questions, and be in attendance longer than those that are just paying general admission. We had it open last week for free. Currently, the tickets are $25. And I wish the entire event was free, baby. If we can get this grant money, the event could be free. But I was unable to. This is coming straight out of my pocket for my people. I love you. My people perish for lack of knowledge, so I'm just trying to bring the knowledge to you. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to at least break even. So that's why I have to charge. I promise you, I wish the game could be just given away, but it has to be sold because the way my bank account is set up, my check-ins and savings, I might need to have to move in with one of y'all in a minute. But I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. If you would like to come out and support, I would love to have you in the building. The Emancipation Proclamation observation at Juneteenth, the 7th annual. This is at the Museum of National Center of Afro-American Artists, a.k.a. the Big Head Museum. If you want to come out, I would love to have you. 4 p.m. today, Carmela Sherwood, the Executive Director of the Helen Y. Davis Leadership Academy, is being honored as well. She is the keynote, and I am so proud to be on the same stage as this woman. I have loved her for years. I love what she does at the Helen Y. Davis, and if you're available, please come out. I give hugs. Anybody who's a listener who knows, I give hugs. There will be food, music, entertainment, art making, face painting, food and cultural community vendors, and the 54th Regiment will be there as well. This is free for all ages. Donations are appreciated, as I appreciate you, and I love you, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Big City 101.3 FM. I'm going to go back to playing this song real quickly because I am so in love. Y'all, I gotta go because I want to listen to this song, and they won't let me do it. They won't let me do it with y'all on it. Hey. I'm gonna put it on Facebook so you guys can